It's me, JP, and Rue de la Rue Swanzor, by order of the great high and humble dogger, here with episode 6 of the history, tales, myths, and legends of the chase in Exile and the chase in Doggerland. As you know, the chase in Exile has chosen me as the go-between, or maybe ambassador, to humankind as it seeks to lift the chase's ancestral hunting grounds from its briny tomb beneath the North Sea back into the sunshine, obviously given its location between the United Kingdom and Scandinavia, more or less. The sunshine I'm speaking of is to a fair degree metaphorical, if you will. I want to get back into the story about those two young dogs, Ro and Urf, and how they were lost in the labyrinth beneath Doggerland, having chased a pair of cave lions into their lair one afternoon. The chase searched for them day and night for more than a week until finally they just appeared, a little hungry but in decent shape and a little bewildered, it turns out, by all the fuss the chase made over them. Was there celebratory howling? Furry beasties everywhere did their best to cover their ears. Were there happy tackles and chases? All night long, the open fields thronged with dogs whose tongues showed semicircles of pink hanging just beyond their canines in a parade of universal delight. To the horror of the penned geese, treats were proclaimed. Their feathers patted the ground and mimicked snow in the ensuing riot. None of them detected the infinitesimal tilt of the trees, the widening of the angle that anyway was just an unaccustomed twinkle in the sky, probably, or a local trick of the zephyrs at the river's mouth, maybe, or was it just a tall crane standing the tiniest bit further than usual west of the cattails? Definitely, a couple of the biggest noses of the chase caught a disconcerting whiff of something dark and trickly that seemed, as one of them put it, to have arisen from somewhere right between her paws. Wet like blood, she said, and deep like hammered stone. Rue and I are struggling a little, I think I should mention, with some issues of translation. The old saw about Inuit people having a couple hundred words for snow is false, of course, but the idea it's aimed at is true enough. If I look through a microscope at a droplet of pond water, my vision might be multiplied 10, 100, 1,000, maybe 10,000 times if I have an extremely strong device. And my language will reflect that when I describe what I see. Elementary, right? So, dogs have a super-duper strong microscope in their noses. One source says 300 million olfactory receptors in dogs compared with 6 million in people, and a proportionally larger part of their brains is dedicated to processing those smells. Well, and since they have the receptors and the brain, they also have the language to talk about it, right? Only makes sense. And that is the problem, because when Rue was describing this event to me, it sounded as if she was saying something like the scribble of a greenish layer in dark with a mound of under, but bending riverwise with metals and swishes, except that it didn't take anywhere near that long for her to communicate it to me. So, you see what I'm dealing with. Rue bit my ear when I wrote it like I did, just gently, but reproachfully, as if I'd done her wrong. Right now, she's looking away in, I don't know what it is, disgust, dismay, impatience. Rue, I'm doing my best. So, all that day and night after their return, none of the dogs in the lead of the chase asked for more than a moment of Ro and Urf's time. Every dog loves a party, after all, a big dog party, and it's part of their character and culture to trust that even though the scents may point to an onrushing scrape of some kind, well, life is short and things will probably turn out tolerably, all things considered. They're really adaptable that way. Most people I know would never be so laissez-faire. Ro and Urf, though, they're another story. They yipped at one another and snarled, some dogs said. Some noses witnessed a dramatic difference in the way the two played together. Their nose wit suggested an urgency that hadn't previously played between that pair. Nose wit. It may not seem like it, but we're getting closer to finding out how Doggerland became so vulnerable to splishy, splashy ocean stuff that it finally sank when the big wave came. The goodbye wave, some dogs call it, ruefully. And next time there will be more about all that. Urf and Ro and their audience with the big noses and the great dogger of the time. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Find the great project of the Dogs of the Chase in Exile on Facebook. Friend Rue de la Rue Swanzor on Facebook. Follow the whole big thingamajig on dogamajig.dog. And remember to save up for the great project's Dogathon coming who knows when. This is JP with Ready Roo on behalf of the great project of the Dogs of the Chase in Exile, by order of the great, high, and humble dogger. Thanks for listening.